Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a topic that, let's be honest, can make any parent feel completely exhausted: correcting your child's behavior. We've gone through all the research to find a better way, one that actually works and feels good for both you and your kid.
Yeah, this slide probably hits home for a lot of us, right? That feeling that you're just a broken record of, no, stop that, don't do that. It is draining. But what if we could flip the script? What if the goal wasn't just to stop a behavior, but to use that moment to teach something valuable?
And right here, this is the big idea, the huge mental shift from our source material. Behavior correction is not about punishment, it's about teaching. Think about that. The goal isn't to make them stop for a second, it's to help them learn how to make a better choice all by themselves next time.
Okay, so let's really get into this. Why does this shift from punishing to teaching matter so much? I mean, what's the real impact on your child's development?
Well, it's really about playing the long game here. When we correct with the intention to teach, we're doing so much more than just putting a stop to one little annoyance. We're actually building these crucial life skills. We're teaching them responsibility, connecting their actions to real outcomes. We're reinforcing the safe boundaries that they need to thrive. And maybe most importantly, we're helping them build the emotional toolkit they need to handle their own big feelings down the road. So, before we even get to the how-to part, the source material is really clear on this. There are 3 foundational rules for your mindset. If you can get these down, everything else just clicks into place. Rule number 1 is your absolute secret weapon: stay calm. Seriously, the second you get angry or yell, your kid's brain kind of shuts down. They stop hearing the lesson and just focus on your big reaction. Staying calm keeps the whole situation from spiraling and shows them that you're the safe, steady leader who's there to help. And this quote is a perfect example of that in action. Just listen to the tone. It's firm, right? But it's not angry. This is how you de-escalate. You're turning what could be a huge power struggle into a moment where you can actually connect and teach. All right, rule number 2 is all about being consistent. I want you to try and see it from your child's perspective for a second. If a rule only applies sometimes, their world feels really confusing and unpredictable. When the consequences are consistent every single time, you're building a safe, stable framework where they can really truly understand what's expected of them. And this one really gets to the heart of this entire philosophy. You have to separate the action from the person. It's so important. This protects your child's self-esteem and their sense of being a good person, while still making it crystal clear that the behavior itself was not okay. I mean, just look at the difference here. Your being bad is a label. It's a judgment on them as a person. But saying throwing your toys is not a good choice, that's a comment on the action. It's specific, it's not judgmental, and it totally opens the door for a conversation about what a better choice might look like. Okay, so we've got the right mindset locked in. Now for the fun part, the toolkit. Let's get into the actual practical things you can start doing the very next time a challenge pops up. The source material really boils it all down to these 3 core strategies. You can think of them as different tools for different situations, but they all have that same goal we talked about: to teach, not to punish. First up, logical consequences. And the key word here is logical. The consequence has to be directly connected to the behavior. So if they make a mess with their toys and won't clean up, the logical consequence is that they lose the privilege of playing with those toys. It's not taking away dessert. That's just a random punishment. This direct link is what helps their brain build that cause and effect connection. Next on the list is redirection, and this one is like magic for younger kids. A lot of the time they act out because they literally don't know what else to do with a big feeling or impulse. Redirection doesn't just say, stop it. It says, hey, here's a much better thing to do instead. You're actually guiding them toward a positive choice. And finally, we have time for reflection. Now, this might just be the most important tool for creating real, long-term change. After the moment has passed, after everyone is calm, you circle back. This simple conversation turns what was a mistake into a really powerful blueprint for what to do next time. So we have the right mindset and we have the tools. But how do you actually put it all together when you're in the heat of the moment? Well, the source gives us a really simple 5-step process you can follow every time. Okay, let's walk through this little cycle. Step 1, identify the behavior. Be super clear and calm, no vague, stop it.
Step 2, explain the logical consequence. Step 3, and there's our theme again, deliver that consequence calmly but firmly. Step 4 is the big one. You have to follow through. This is what builds trust and shows you mean what you say. And finally, step 5, the part that seals the deal, circle back later to reflect and teach. It's a complete loop that takes you from correction right back to connection.
Now, to make sure this whole approach really sticks, it's just as important to know what not to do. So let's talk about a few of the really common traps that the source material warns us about. The research points to 3 major pitfalls. First, yelling. We've talked about it, but it's worth repeating. It just creates fear, not learning. Second, using consequences that are way too harsh. If the punishment doesn't fit the crime, it just feels unfair and it's going to create resentment. And the last one is so important, ignoring the good stuff. If you only ever give your attention to negative behaviors, you might be accidentally encouraging more of it. Praising good choices is just as powerful, if not more so, than correcting the tough ones.
So, as we wrap things up here, let's just pull it all together one more time. It all starts with your foundation. Stay calm and be consistent. Then from there, you use your main tool, logical consequences that actually fit the behavior. But through it all, you're always remembering that core philosophy. Your goal is to teach, not to punish. And you always complete that learning loop by making time to reflect together later on.
At the end of the day, this isn't just a bunch of theory. It's a real practical toolkit you can use to build an even stronger, more trusting relationship with your child. So we'll leave you with this to think about. Which one of these powerful tools are you going to try first?